Come with me as I harvest my amaranth. In this video, we'll go from this to this. First things first though, we have to harvest all of the amaranth in the garden. Okay, so now that we have the amaranth harvested from the plants, we're going to go ahead and work through getting it processed and getting the grains out to be usable to eat. So it's my understanding that it's kind of a process of breaking it down from the bigger parts down to the smaller parts. So we'll go ahead and start with like this bigger piece. I think it's like a ½ inch hole, and this is just a baking sheet that I have, and then we'll kind of pass it through, hopefully to get the smaller pieces out and keep the bigger sticks and pieces off to the side, and then I'll put those straight into my compost. And then once I have everything done, we're going to come through with a smaller mesh strainer, and then hopefully it'll push through. I think the grains will be small enough to fit through this. And then once that process is done, I don't have a very big breeze today, so I'm just using this little portable fan. And I'll be able to just kind of like pick it up and let the breeze take the little shells for the grains itself. So this is my first time doing this, so let's see how it works out. I processed my 2 paper bags worth of my harvest this way, just by rubbing the flours against the baking sheet to force the grains through the holes. Now that that's done, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like now, and then we are going to start step 2. So my 2 bags looks like this. You can see still got some stems and parts in it. So we're going to go ahead and sift through it again in a smaller hole, and then hopefully that'll get rid of a lot of these extra things. All right, final step. Now we're going to use a little fan. I'm just going to kind of pick this up, and all the little shells of it is going to blow away. It's lighter than the little seed or the grain is. So that's essentially what the idea is. Might have to back it away. I think I'm blowing away my crop there. Let's see how this goes. So now we've got the third and final stage done. I think I've got like 99% of the little hulls out. It's definitely more of a grain texture. It kind of reminds me of little pearls, the quinoa, if you've ever dealt with that, but it's just beauty, you know, just beautiful little grains. Anyway, so thanks for watching how I've, went from full harvest of the plant and processing it down to something to eat. The next step is going to be all done inside, and that's going to be the final process of, you know, trying to get it ready to store and eat. Oh, sweet summer child, was I naive. So after I shot that video, I took my bowl inside, what I thought was my bowl full of amaranth, and I bring it inside, and I knew I had to let it dry out before I could store it in my jars. So I laid it out on like a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and I let it sit out for like a week to finish drying out. And I kept going back and watching it, and just kind of keeping track to make sure that it wasn't going bad or anything. And so at the end of the week, I noticed that there was still like a lot of the shells left over that had finally dried out. And so I ended up dumping it all back into a bowl. And I just kind of did the method where you jump things back and forth to different bowls. And I did it in front of the fan. And out of all of that amaranth that I had in that bowl, I think I ended up with only like 2 cups worth in my jar. But I mean, you live and you learn, right? And that's kind of the whole point of gardening is learning to do something that you didn't know how to do or didn't know what the outcome would be. And I think that's my favorite part of gardening is these little lessons that you learn. You think you're going to have this huge harvest or this huge crop, and it turns out to only being a small amount, but lesson learned. And I'm very excited that I did grow the amaranth. To learn the process of harvesting and storing. So thank you guys so much for watching and always keeping up with my videos.